Welcome to the Flower Therapy webinar. I'm so pleased that you've been able to join me on this session today, and I'm really looking forward to sharing everything that I can with you, everything that I know about flower therapy, so that you can gain the benefits from it too. So flower therapy is something that I've been studying for approximately the last 2 to 3 years. And before that, I have been studying floristry as a trade and working as a florist and also the principal of Bloom College Flower School. So my name's Yvette Timmins, and we've got about 20 minutes with each other here today, and I'm really, as I said, excited and looking forward to sharing with you. So flower therapy, what is it? That's probably the biggest question that I do get posed around it, and so that's what we'll be covering off in this session. Along with how you can benefit from it, as I said. So, of course, we know that flowers carry a very special energy about them. We know, and science has well proven, that they make us feel good. And so this, I guess, flower therapy is like an extension of that. And it's how you can benefit from flowers without them even being in your physical presence. Which sounds a little woo-woo and out there, but I can attest that it's the thing, and so that's some of what we're going to be covering off. So I've got some beautiful roses here that I'm going to be working with. One of my favourite, Matricaria, or also known as chamomile, and some dahlias and sunflowers and some really yummy things that I'll be building an arrangement out with. But firstly, I'd like to start with a short meditation. Now, this meditation is a great anxiety alleviator, and it's called the Well Heart meditation. And so I'd like for you to invite you, I should say, to join me on this meditation. And it's just a great way to kickstart and start getting some of this beautiful, positive flower energy. So let's have a look at this rose, this beautiful rose. I've spent a little bit of time just reflexing some of the petals out, just so that you can see it a little bit bigger and in its full, beautiful spectrum there. It's so gorgeous. And this is a lovely, just beautiful, large-headed rose with so many petals in this beautiful, it's like a buttercup color, which is so pretty. So for those of you that you would like to, I invite you to close your eyes, but before doing so, just have a really good picture of this beautiful rose in your mind's eye. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, that's totally fine. You might like to just fixate on this rose and just be mesmerized by the beauty of it. And so when you're ready, if you'd like to close your eyes and just take some nice deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And after the third breath, just like to feel your system calming. And from there, you just start to breathe in through the nose, but also out through the nose. You can keep imagining this beautiful rose. And then I invite you to see the rose in your heart space. So just picture the rose sitting in or over your entire heart space. And keep breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And on the next out breath, I invite you to imagine some of the outside petals of the rose start to drop away. And on the next in breath, imagine through the center of the rose, new petals are starting to appear. And the rose becomes this never-ending well of petals, just constantly refilling with each in-breath, and then with each out-breath, the older outside petals are starting to drop away. And as the petals on the outside are dropping away, you might like to imagine that as they drop away, each one by one, holds a memory, a trauma, a feeling that is unwanted. It may be a hurtful memory, maybe something that you're currently carrying with you. It may be old, it may be new, but it doesn't matter. We're not here to judge it. We're just here to see it and see it drop away as each petal drops away. And then remembering on each in-breath, we're seeing new petals appear. This is why it's called the well heart meditation. It's a never-ending well of loving source, positive energy, filling your heart space and constantly filling and renewing with new, good, positive, loving energy. And with each out-breath, remembering to let something drop away. Anything that doesn't feel good, any negative emotions, as I said, stored memories, or something that may be bothering you right now. Just let it drop away in its own time with each out-breath. Just continue that process for the next 3 breaths. And you may, if you haven't already, you may come to a point where it's just almost like a sigh. It's just one big breath. Don't force it, let it come. If it doesn't, then after this session you might like to repeat this meditation. Repeat the meditation until that comes. And so when you're ready, if you've had your eyes closed, I invite you to open them and we'll continue the session. So welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed that. As I said, it can be a super quick meditation, just like what we did. You can take as long as you like to do it if you've got longer. But it's a great one, even if you're maybe, at work, you can go on a quick break. You can even just, if you're in an office perhaps, you can sit there and do that very quickly to just recenter yourself and just be rid of any negative emotions that might be creeping in. So that's the well heart meditation, keeping your heart space well and reminding you that it's a never-ending source of love and positive energy for you to access at any moment. And it's all internal. You don't need anything external to be able to give that to yourself. So it's quite a gift. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. The next thing that we're going to look at is the rose and the positive energy that it carries. So rose is truly one of, if not the most powerful and potent of all flowers. It certainly carries the most amount of energy that science is able to rate. And so science has been able to measure, all living things. And so what I find the most amazing though is that roses carry the highest amount of positive energy out of anything else that they're currently being able to measure. So a rose is anywhere between 3 and 320 rating of megahertz, and so that's how it's measured. It's a vibration. Everything living is vibrational, and so are these guys too. Even when they've been cut from their source, so even when they're a cut flower, they still have life force in them, and that vibration is what is measured. And so a hugely powerful, popular flower for many, many reasons. But that's one of the reasons why it makes us feel so good. So just being in their presence is great. But as I said, you can also imagine it just as we have done in the meditation. So I'm also then going to get to an arrangement, which this one is called Interconnected. And it's a vase that, well, actually it's 6 vases that are all interconnected by a gold metal frame. And so I kind of liken it to our connection to nature, our connection to our community, our connection to the globe, to the universe, to everything. And so sometimes it's easy to get disconnected from all of that. And so being around flowers, being in nature, obviously in plants and gardens, anywhere outside in nature can help to bring us back to that. And so sometimes we can't always access it though, but we can access getting flowers to our house and arranging them. Or of course, Failing all of that, we can imagine them being in our space. But for this arrangement, I'm going to use a combination of summer flowers that work really well together, but I'm also going to introduce you to one of the other flowers which I find quite potent and really powerful in the healing sessions that I do with flower therapy sessions, is the sunflower. And so I guess that leads me to what is a flower therapy session. And so a flower therapy one-on-one session is about accessing that source energy of flowers and finding out whereabouts that it's going to most benefit you. And so what I'm able to help with is finding the areas of the body, the energy centers within the body, and what flowers best correlate to whatever concern might be going on within those energy centers. And then sometimes it's not necessarily a concern, sometimes it's also just about adding more energy. And so that's one of the things that the sunflower does. The sunflower holds lots and lots of powerful sun active energy, and so really great if you need that burst of energy. The sunflower is also, for me, a really great reminder that we can't be on and active all the time. And so the sunflower is great. If you see them out in the fields, you'll notice that their heads tilt towards the sun, and they get that good active energy. When the sun's not out though, they hang their heads and they rest. And so it's a great reminder for us that we need to do that too. And in this go-go active sort of, I guess, culture and society that we've been conditioned to live in, they act as a great reminder. But what we can also do is when we need their active sun energy, we can access it. And so one of the things that I will just integrate into every flower therapy session is using the energy of the sunflower and putting it into this solar plexus area, so front and back, and just beaming sunflower light energy into that area, and gives us a burst of energy into this core, which is where we most need it, and then can give access to the rest of our energy centers through there. So sunflowers is just one of my absolute favorites for more reasons than what I've probably got time to cover, I should say, but I'll definitely be popping it into this arrangement for that reason. So what I'd also like to just integrate just slightly into today's session, because I know that there's many of you that are interested in this, and that's learning how to condition flowers and how to get a longer lifespan out of them. And so it's a good demonstration with this chamomile here. And so you might be able to see there's still some leaves on the stem here. You can see the top half is full of leaves, and the bottom half, some of those leaves have been removed. The reason why they've been removed is so that they don't generate or create as much bacteria growth in the water as what they would if all these leaves were left on. And so this is the part of the stem that is going to be down into the water source, into the vase, and so that's where the bacteria growth comes from. And so we want to prevent that as much as possible. And so there are still some just smaller scraggly leaves left on here, and so I'll be cleaning them off with my gloves before they go into the water. And so most of the flowers here though I've already pre-prepared, it's so that we can make this a speedy session and an introductory session for you to enjoy, and just to learn that little bit more about flowers and the positive energy of them. So I will show you how to remove some of these lower leaves and the best way to do that. And so I like to use gloves. Some people prefer their bare hands, but I, after many years of working as a florist, am now very happy to adopt a glove to remove these leaves. And so you just run the glove down the stem of the flower, but you want to hold the flower not like it's a little bit higher than halfway up the stem, and it just supports it. If you hold it too high, then you can rip the flowers off as you're pulling down this way. But if you don't hold it at all, then the stem can snap, particularly if it's a weaker stem flower. So some of them are more robust than others. And so we've just removed those leaves nicely. Our hands have stayed clean and won't be cut by any little splinters or anything that might be on a stem. And From there, then we're going to recut the stem. And so cutting it on an angle gives it a greater surface area to be able to drink more water. The more water it can drink, the longer your arrangement of flowers will last. So that's what we're always looking to achieve. And so we're cutting it on an angle, and then it goes straight into the water. Okay, just like that. I'll be taking this one out again though, because I'm not quite ready to start my arrangement yet. But that's how you prepare flowers, remove the leaves that will be within the water, and recut the stem always on an angle. So we'll get to that very shortly. The other thing that I wanted to introduce you to today is the flower therapy course as well. And so there is a special offer which I'll make sure is all in the information that you can access it, and it's going to be at a very special introductory price as well. So there's a course on flower therapy. It doesn't teach you how to be a flower therapist as such. That's a much larger energy healing, energy medicine healing course. But what it does teach you is how you can progress and move through some maybe emotional barriers or traumas that might be holding you back, and how flowers can help you through that process. So that's a 10-class course. And then of course there is the flower therapy book as well, which is called Feed Your Soul with Flowers. And yeah, I'll be offering that book as well as part of the course. So that'll be a free throw-in is the flower therapy, or sorry, I should say Feed Your Soul with Flowers book that will post out to you. So that will be all available. So let's get into the arrangement though. I have got roses, which you've seen. I've got some beautiful chamomile, and of course chamomile has so many wonderful properties as well, as do all the flowers, but I love chamomile as it's such a relaxing, beautiful flower. It's a good one to have near your front door, calm everybody down before they enter your lovely home. And a friend of mine at the moment, actually, we've been working on a garden together and creating a lawn out of chamomile, with the idea of those who live there that they can just lay down on the lawn of lavender and just fully relax and recuperate. So then alongside the bed of that will be a bed of lavender, which is just a magic combination. So again, if you need to relax, you need to calm down, maybe you can't sleep very well, then you could always adopt the same well heart meditation and just swap out the rose with some chamomile and lavender. Or of course you could actually get some chamomile and lavender, make a tea, whatever works best for you. You could do all of it. There are no limits. And then I've also got some beautiful dahlias as well. And what else have we got? Some cosmos, which you can probably see there, and some Queen Anne lace as well as, of course, the sunflowers too. So I'm going to pop all of this into this vase, and you know, this can also be achieved by just multiple vases and just grouped together. You don't have to have the wire frame if you can't access that. You can just have multiple vases or jars in varying heights and group them together like this. You can also use wine glasses, champagne glasses, beer glasses, any glasses. It really doesn't matter, and it's just up to you and what you've got access to, really. So what I would like to do is make sure within this arrangement that I have a few of each flower variety in each of these vases, because for me this is about our interconnectedness and our diversity as well. Diversity within families, within communities, within the wider country, and of course obviously globally as well. And so how we can all work together, how we all have our different perspectives, how we all have our different qualities, and how we can all as one come together and make something that is so beautiful and colorful, and it's a great variety as well. So that's what I'm going to start with, and start with this beautiful, gorgeous dahlia. So I'm just going to pop one in each of the vases. Now just play around a little bit until I'm happy with where things are sitting. And I can always then have another last look at the end and make any adjustments. But for now, I'm not going to overjudge or think about too much about where I'm putting things. I'm allowing it to be a little bit more intuitive and just go with the feel of where things will be. Also, because I'm working directly straight into vases, things may not necessarily sit exactly where I want them to, or they might move around a little bit as I put other things in as well. And so it's very much just about allowing yourself to just be okay with that, because you can always at the end refine or change things if you want. Often though, the flowers are just where they need to be. So I'll keep moving with that. You may not see me, but that's okay. The most important thing is that you can see the flowers. It's always tempting to overfill. It's lovely cosmos. The cosmos have really added some height, which is great because then it means I can pop in beautiful sunflowers that will sit up into that space as well. But I'm also going to want to bring the sunflowers down low too, so that they are into this front area as well. So if I had them all up too high, then we wouldn't end up with a very balanced arrangement. It would end up looking very top heavy and give the feel that it's going to fall forward. So how's that looking? This one here, I'm just going to lower just slightly. As we're getting to the final stages of it. I've got some Queen Anne lace, which I'll pop in. I'm not going to overdo that. So it's looking really nice and full. And then I've got the beautiful roses to finish off. The Queen Anne lace just give it that really nice, wispy, airy, pretty look. turn it around. And now the roses. Now roses are also one of the best flowers at, I guess, healing themselves as well as healing us. They seal over very quickly, and so one of the reasons why we need to cut the ends of flowers before we put them into water is that when they've been out of water, they start to seal over, and so it's kind of like us scabbing, when we've cut ourselves, but they're much quicker at it than what we are, and so they start to seal over to preserve the moisture and the water that's still in the stem and holding them up and giving life and water to the petals, and so they'll do that. So if we then just put them into water without recutting the stem, they're not actually able to drink it, or certainly not as easily, and so we give them a nice fresh cut. And so we need to be able to do that right before putting them into water. So we'll cut them again. Now I'll just turn the arrangement around now so that I can see the placement of these roses, because these will be the final flowers that are going in. And these are really just adding so much to this arrangement. There's a few stars of this show. There's the dahlias, there's the roses, and there's the sunflowers, but they're all just working beautifully together. And there we have it. So we have all the flowers there. You can see that. So I have built a one-sided arrangement, but this could potentially be created all sides. And all of them together are just working so beautifully, as I said. The important thing from a practical point with these, well, with all arrangements, but particularly anything that has a sunflower in it, is that you need to make sure that you're regularly topping up that water. Ideally, if you can change it over completely, but at a minimum, topping up the water, because the sunflowers drink a lot of water. And so, making sure that that vase is full as they drink it. So yeah, as I said though, ideally if you can change the water would be great, but it does mean recreating the arrangement again. And so I hope that you have the time to be able to do that, but for many of us, we simply don't. And so if that's you, just top up the water and they'll be just fine. So I hope you've enjoyed the presentation. As I said, we'll put out a very special offer so that you can access the flower therapy course. If you'd like to book a one-on-one flower therapy session with me and get your very own unique set of flowers for your particular needs, then please reach out, book a session. I'd love to connect with you that way as well. But as I said, if you'd love the course and access to the book, that will be all available to you as well. So thanks for joining me. I hope you've learned something and taken away something from that. Get some meditations going with some flowers, get some flower arranging going. So thanks so much. Take care. Bye.